going to talk about something called a 2+2 formula. This is where you study at community colleges in America and then do 2 years at a university after. It's a really affordable way that you can get your bachelor's degree. Affordable means it's cheap. It does not cost a lot of money. I'm going to talk also about some students' experiences in college and university at OCC. I'll teach you a little bit about community colleges, especially in California. America has a lot of community colleges. And of course, we will have question and answers at the end. If you want to ask Nayeon about her experience studying in California and studying at OCC, of course, at the end, you can ask Nayeon a lot of questions, okay? Also, one thing I want to note is OCC has a lot of international students. All of the pictures in this presentation are pictures of our international students. And it was taken by a photographer who is also an international student. So this is Elizaveta. She was a business major at OCC, but now she graduated. Okay, so first of all, community colleges. What are community colleges? They are different than universities in America. Community colleges are about access. This means it's easy for students to take their classes, okay? So we have 2-year programs at community colleges. So when you finish a community college, you can get something called your associate's degree, or you can transfer to a university after 2 years. And then after university, you finish 2 more years and you can get your bachelor's degree. At community colleges, we have open enrollment. So there's a lot of different times that students can start studying at community colleges. So it's easy to start. There's lots of times. And the last part of access is there's low cost tuition. It is much cheaper, much more affordable to study at community colleges in America and then study at a university after community college. Later in the slides, I will share some prices so you can understand how expensive and how cheap some things are, okay? So that's community college. Just so you know, it is very normal for American students to go to community college first and then transfer to a university. Almost 50% of American students go to a community college first. Why? First of all, like I said, it's cheaper. It's much more affordable. But also, you don't need an SAT or ACT test score. SAT and ACT tests in America are the names for the college, for the university entrance test. If you go to community college, you don't need to take the test, and you can transfer to a university and never take the test, which is really nice. It's also popular for international students. In 2019, so before COVID, more than 96,000 international students went to community college and then university in America, which is crazy. It's a really big number. So there are different ways, different paths you can take to get your bachelor's degree. The first is you can study at community college and then transfer to a university, After 2 years of university, you can get your bachelor's degree. A different option, you could study at community college, get your associate's degree, which takes about 2 years. Then you could do something called a gap year. A gap year is a 1-year break. If you have your associate's degree, you can work for 1 year in America and do something called OPT, which is optional practical training. Basically, if you get your associate's degree, you can work in a job that is connected to your major. So for example, if your associate's degree is connected to the hotel industry, you could get a job working in hotels and work for 1 year in America. A lot of students do this because it helps them save money, and then they can spend that money at university, right? So then they do 1 year of work and then go to university and then get their bachelor's degree. Okay. Also, just so you guys know, in America, it's very normal to stop the teacher and ask questions. You can ask me questions anytime. You can just say, Shane, stop, please. And I will stop and you can ask questions, okay? Okay, let's continue. Transferring. How do we transfer? How does this work? If you study at a community college, you can transfer to any university in the US. Our universities will accept community college classes, okay? When you transfer, I mentioned that they don't require an SAT or ACT score. They check your grades from your community college. And if you have good grades in your classes, it's very easy to transfer. We have something called course articulation equivalency. This basically just means that the university will accept your classes from community college. So you don't need to do 4 years at an expensive university. You can just do 2 years, okay? Now, one nice thing, if you want to transfer from a community college, for example, in California, to a university in California, we have something called guarantee transfer admissions. So many community colleges in America have a deal with universities in California. And we say if your students get good grades, usually like a B or like 80% average in your classes, the universities will 100% accept you. It's called guarantee transfer admissions. So you can get into a good university 100%, okay? This is one example of a student who transferred. Gabriel transferred to George Washington University after he finished OCC. He was a really good water polo player at OCC. Should you do college? Should you do university? There's a couple of questions that can help you figure this out, okay? Number one, are you academically competitive? So do you have really good scores? Did you take a college test like SAT or ACT and get a good score? Or is your English really good? Did you take a TOEFL test or a Duolingo test or an IELTS test? If your academics are not very strong, maybe it's better to do community college first, because you can improve your academics at community college. If you don't have the English TOEFL or Duolingo test score required, community college also might be better. At community college, the test scores for TOEFL and Duolingo are much easier to get. They are lower than university TOEFL and Duolingo and IELTS test scores. But if you are new to English, you can also study at an English program. So my program is an English program for international students before they start community college. And we help prepare you for college classes, okay? Okay, the next question is your financial capacity. Do you have enough money? When you come to America, you have to show a bank statement that says how much money you have, because when you are a student in classes, you cannot work. You can work on campus at the school, but you can't do other jobs. So you need to show that you have enough money to live while you're in America for 2 years, okay? If money is a worry, community college is definitely a better choice because you don't need to show as much money. And finally, do you know your major? Do you know what you want to study? If you don't know, community college is better because we have a lot of different classes. So you can try many, many, many different subjects and figure out what you love, what you're interested in. If you do that at university and you try many, many classes, it will be very expensive. Okay. This picture is a student named Nand. Nand is from India, and he actually worked in my office when he was a student at OCC. He makes YouTube videos, and he was also on student government at OCC. And because he did so much stuff, he did extra work and was a really good student, he was able to get a full tuition scholarship to Texas Christian University. So basically, he did 2 years at OCC, and then he transferred to a university in Texas, and the school paid for everything. He went for free, which is amazing. Okay. Okay. I'm just checking the chat box. Okay, we're good. Now, there's a lot of community colleges in America. There are more than 941 community colleges now in America. So you have a lot of choices. There are many, many really good community colleges also. So how do you choose your community college? First, think about your interests. Do they have classes that you're interested in, right? For example, at Orange Coast College, we have a campus on the ocean, and we have a class where students learn how to drive ships, and we teach them how to sail on yachts. So if students wanted to learn how to drive a boat and drive cruise ships for their job in the future, we have that class, right? If you go to a school in the mountains, they will not have that class. So think about your location. Do you want to be in the mountains? Do you want to be next to the ocean? There's many good locations. What kind of weather do you want? Do you want cold, hot weather? Okay. Think about accreditation. So accreditation is when the government or a group of people say that, yes, this is a good school, right? Most community colleges have accreditation. but some don't have accreditation. If you want to transfer to a university, your community college needs accreditation. If you go to a community college without accreditation, the university that you transfer to will not accept your classes, okay? So find a school, make sure it has accreditation. My school, Orange Coast College, has accreditation. And I mentioned this already, but definitely for you guys, make sure the school has international student support. So ask the school, do you have an international student office, right? What languages do people speak in the office? So in our office, we have people that speak Korean, speak Vietnamese, speak Japanese, speak Chinese, speak so many languages, okay? And that's good for you guys. Okay, this is Mia in this picture. He was a marine science major. Something interesting about OCC is we're the only community college that has a student-run aquarium. So you can see behind him, this is the aquarium. So the students control this aquarium and manage it and keep the fish alive, which if you're interested in marine science, that's a good option for you, okay? Okay, here are some other things that students have said about OCC. They have said that OCC is comprehensive, which means we have everything and we feel like a university. Our campus is really big. We have a lot of brand new, beautiful buildings. We have something called a planetarium, which is focused on astronomy. They have a little movie theater where you can go and watch films about astronomy. We have dorms on campus. We're the only community college in Southern California that has dorms for students to live in. Our students say that we are holistic which means we have many extra things for students. So students can join clubs, they can join sports teams, they can do research. Research is not normal at a community college, but we have it. Our athletics are also really good. For example, our women's dance team just won first place in the country, which was amazing, right? We have some really good athletics. Our water polo team is really good. Our volleyball team and our baseball team are very strong. Our women's basketball team is really strong. I don't know if you guys remember Kobe Bryant, but his daughter used to play on OCC's basketball team. And so Kobe Bryant was always coming to OCC for basketball. And we're very supportive. I mentioned the GEC office. We have a lot of staff who are available to help you, okay? This is Daniela. Daniela was a student from Brazil. She's actually half Chinese, half Brazilian. And she was the student government president at OCC. And she recently transferred to Toronto University in Canada. So she's gone very far away, but she was wonderful. Okay. In California, we have a lot of community colleges. There are 115 different colleges just in California. If you don't know, California is really big, okay? That means we have 2.5 million students, over 500,000 different classes, and then 50% of our students continue to University of California and Cal State and graduate from UCs and Cal States. So just to show you, there's a lot of students, a lot of people choose to go to community colleges in America. These are a couple famous people who have gone to community colleges in America. I don't know if you know many of them. I think probably everyone knows Steve Jobs. He started the company Apple, and he went to De Anza College in Northern California. I hope you know George Lucas. If you've seen the movie Star Wars was created by George Lucas, and he went to a college. He went to Modesto Junior College. Katy Perry is a famous singer, and she went to Santa Barbara City College. At Orange Coast College, we had a fashion designer named Paul Frank. I don't know if you know this monkey, this brand monkey. It's a really, really famous brand and monkey in America. And Paul Frank went to OCC and then created his brand. And actually now he is a teacher at OCC, and he teaches fashion design at OCC. So it's really cool. If you're interested in fashion, we have a really good fashion program. Okay, I talked a little bit already about transfer agreements, transfer guarantees. So if you are interested in going to a UC, there's an agreement called TAG. OCC has this agreement, but also most community colleges in California also have this agreement with UCs. It's not every UC. So UCLA and UC Berkeley are not part of TAG, but the other ones are. So I went to a really good university called UC Santa Cruz, and UC Santa Cruz is part of the TAG agreement, UC Davis, UC Riverside, UC Santa Barbara, and there's more that I can't remember the names of. But if you want to go to one of these schools, if you have good grades in college, they will 100% accept you, okay? We also have an agreement called ADT with CSUs. These are California State Universities. We're going to talk about these a little bit more. CSUs, these universities are cheaper than the UCs, but they still have really good classes. My wife went to a Cal State University school. And so there's the same thing, a very similar thing with the CSUs. If you get your associate's degree, basically you finish 2 years at OCC, then 100% CSUs, these universities, will accept you and take you. There is one program with UCLA called TAP. This is a 100% transfer agreement, but it's more specific. It's focused on students whose majors are in the arts. So you need to check if your major is accepted by this program. If it is accepted, you can do this transfer guarantee program. The other thing I want to tell you guys is when you transfer from community college to university, it's a lot easier to get accepted. So if you look at this is the freshman admission rate, which means if you go from high school to universities, there's a 17.8% acceptance rate. But if you transfer from community college to university, the acceptance rate is 44%. So it's more than double the acceptance rate, which means it's a lot easier to get accepted. This is a student named Aoi. She was from Japan. She was a dance major student. She transferred from OCC to UC Irvine using this TAG transfer agreement. Okay, this is the cost. So first thing, there's private universities in America, all over America. In America, private universities are very expensive, okay? It's possible to get scholarships at these, but if you don't, it's very expensive. The University of California for 2 years costs about $88,000 for 2 years. California state universities cost about $33,000 per year. For 2 years, 2 years. Community colleges in California are about 17,000, so 16,600 for 2 years at community college. So it's about $70,000 less. You will save $70,000 if you go to community college first and then University of California. So if money is a worry for you, this is a very good way to get your bachelor's degree and save money. This student is Yusuke. He transferred from OCC to UC Berkeley after completing 2 years with us. This is just some general information about OCC. We started in 1947, and this year is our 75th anniversary. So we've been around for a long time. We have more than 130 majors. I told you before you can learn to sail and drive a boat. This picture was taken at our sailing center along the ocean. We have more than 22,000 students, and our international students have transferred to more than 115 different universities in America, which is really exciting. You can follow OCC's Instagram for international students here. I'll type it in the chat box also, OCC Internationals. My program also has an Instagram, so if you're interested in studying English before you start your college classes, you can follow my program on Instagram, IEC@OCC, okay? Oh, and also, Julian, let me click this again. Julian, this is the student who took all of the photos in this presentation. Okay, finally, my program, I mentioned, is the intensive English program. In my program, we have 6 different levels. So depending on how much English you know, you could start either in foundation, which is beginner. We have intermediate levels or advanced levels. And from your beginning level, we can figure out how much time you need to study with us before you start OCC. If you study with us, every level takes 8 weeks to finish, okay? And if you finish our final level, the advanced B level, OCC will accept you, and you don't need a TOEFL test. You don't need a Duolingo test. You don't need an IELTS test. No English test if you finish this English program, okay? So this was my past student named Kenta. He's from Japan. He did IEC, and then he did OCC, and now he is studying at UCLA, which is really exciting. We're really proud of him. We do have a couple virtual classes. If you're interested in virtual classes and starting to study online, it's possible. So send me a message. I'll share again in a moment my email. But our classes are right in the middle of OCC. So if you want to study at OCC, but you need English first, you can get the community college university experience early by studying English at IEC.